What up, world? Back again. It is the Country Rap Report. Yours truly, Vic XL, and y'all know what you get when you check out the Country Rap Report. We give you the best in artist interviews, reaction, music reviews, and country rap hot topics. The purpose of the Country Rap Report is to help assist in taking the genre of country rap to the next level. Now, before we get too deep into it again, I want to say salute to all the first and last time viewers, everybody that has supported the show in the past. Whether it's your first time or your last time, we definitely appreciate you for being part of this movement. Also, gotta say salute to my guy Chief and salute to Rika Mariah. I have one of the hardest working teams in the industry, and without them, there would be no Country Rap Report. All right, so today is a very, very dope day, very special day on the show because we get an opportunity. I get an opportunity to talk to someone that I've been wanting to talk to for a while. He creates great music. He's a prolific artist. I'm talking about he's one of the dopest that I've seen in the genre. He's definitely doing his thing. He's definitely moving and shaking. And it's an honor and a pleasure to have him on the show. I'm gonna let him get mic'd up, let him get his audio up. And while I do, I want to remind you guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime we drop brand new content. Remember, the Country Rap Report, we're dropping content on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you be part of the latest chat and make sure you check out all our premieres. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all see my man on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, none other the impeccable, incredible rhyme animal, my guy NoneReala. What's going on, my G?
What's going on, big dog? How you doing, man?
Man, I am, you know what? Can I be honest for a moment?
Always. Yes, sir.
Man, I was doing great, right? I was having an awesome day. And then my Dallas Cowboys lost.
Oh man. Hey, I got a friend who's just like you right now. He is down and out right now, man.
So, other than my Dallas
I
Cowboys
feel for you.
losing and me having a tequila flu for 7 days, I'm everything else is great, bro. But I was in Mexico for like 7 days, and I got a hold to too much tequila.
Hey,
And
to do that. It'll do that sometimes, man.
so other than that, bro, there is nothing better in my world than the fact that I'm alive and I'm able to talk to you, and me and you finna bounce wisdom back and forth. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I had a good day, a very productive week and weekend. I've been doing schooling on the side of the music and everything. I've been going to school for graphic design.
Okay.
And so I got all the midterm stuff and everything done. So when you hit me up, I was like, hey man, let's do it. Let's vibe.
Hey man, so I'm gonna come back to the schooling, but
Okay.
I wanna start because I when I do interviews, I call my interviews walks. I like the people to sit back. That's why I don't do them live. I like people to be able to watch them, not worry about the chat, and just vibe out with what's being said. So let's take a walk in the life of NoneReala. And I want to take them from day one to today.
All
I
right.
want when after this interview is over, I want them to feel like they watched the motion picture called NoneReala. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So my first question to you is, where are you from?
Born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Duval.
Dude, what's growing up in what is growing up in what was growing up in Duval like for NoneReala?
It was a typical 80s lifestyle, 80s, 90s lifestyle. You know what I mean? It because we were in the city, it was more active than you would be out in the country. So it was way more active. It was different back then though, like when the street lights came on, you knew you had to be home, but it was still cool if you didn't, because you could just pick up the phone up at your friend's house and be like, hey, I'm over here, and they're fine. It ain't like that nowadays, but that's how it was back then. We had freedom. So there was way more running amongst each other. You know what I mean? They had laws like because we were in a big city, you couldn't have no more than 5 people walking on the side of the road. You had to separate because it was considered a gang if you had two
Oh,
people, yeah, walking on the side of the road. So like it was, you know, it was just a big city lifestyle. That's exactly what it was. If you've ever been to a big city, then you've been to Jacksonville.
okay. All right. Were you ever in situations where it might have been six of y'all walking down the street and y'all say, "Hey man, take your ass over there. Here come them folks."
We really didn't abide by the laws too much until you see them, you know. Then you all kind of you did the step run.
Okay.
But we didn't get much trouble until really I got older. You know, that's when I started doing stupid stuff.
Okay. So at what age do you feel like you probably started to rebel a little?
Uh, when pops passed,
Oh, that'll do it.
yeah, pops passed when I was 13. So
Okay.
right when you need a father figure in your life, a role model, you know, and I think that's when it happened because I was kind of by myself. My mom was doing her own thing. She was dealing with depression. I was young, so I didn't understand what love was. So, you know, like all I saw was like, yo, she's gone, he's gone. I'm on my own here. So, you know, my grandfather and my uncles, all them, they kind of looked out for me and tried to raise me to the best. But I feel like that's when everything went awry because I was born without a real father. You know what I mean? And Pete came in my life, I think it was like 5 or 6, something like that. And
Okay.
then so at 13, you know, you really need that father figure though. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's when everything kind of went sideways.
Okay. Were you the only child?
Actually, I have a periodic twin sister. She was actually born 1979, March 12th, and I was born March 12th, 1983. So we
Okay.
were. It's weird, you know. We're twins, but we're not. We were just born in the same um, month and day, different years. But yeah, man, we probably shared like 3 birthdays together. We really haven't had the tightest relationship. But to keep it real with you, it's weird. But there's sometimes when I'm like hurting, and I don't know why I'm hurting, and I feel like I might be hurting because she might be hurting. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing I could say about our relationship that I ever feel weird. It's like sometimes I just feel like I'm upset for some reason. I don't know why. It could be that. I don't know.
Have you ever picked up the phone and called her and y'all actually was kind of going through the same emotional situations?
No, I haven't done that yet. You know, I still haven't brought myself to the point to pick up the phone and call her. I need to though. You know, talking to you and the way you're saying it, like next time you get that feeling, you should just pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, you know, are you all right?"
Yeah.
And it might open up, you know, that bridge for us. Who knows?
Yeah, no doubt, man. The one thing I've learned, um, family is sometimes we don't realize how important it is until it might not be there.
Right.
And I don't not to be preachy, but holler
Oh
at her
no, you
one,
good.
holler at her, hey, Shawty, what's going on? I know it's been a minute, Shawty, but hey, man, it's your bro, and I'm just checking in, and I'm gonna talk to you next year. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
as men, man, is to me, it's important to have as less incomplete stories in life as we possibly can. That's just to me. Man, so many people don't like me, but I try my best to at least keep my palate on the I tried to do what I could side.
Yes, sir.
You know.
I,
And again, bro, that's not me being preachy. That's
oh,
just
you fine.
me, me just I don't have any brothers and sisters, so I'm a
Yeah,
I'm a
you
I'm a I'm a
opening up.
I'm kind of an only child.
And ain't nothing wrong with that, no, man. You know, like it's like I tell my kids all the time. I grew up with my cousins because
Mhm.
it was me, my mom, my pops, my uncle, my cousins, and my grandfather all staying in one place for a while, one time. You know what I mean? So we all kind of like grew up together to where like brothers and sisters and everything. But it was wild because but now to this day, like we still call each other brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Like and explaining it to my kids, they're like, "Why do I call them uncle and aunt?" You know what I mean? But
Right,
it's because we're cousins, really. You know,
right.
but it's just that's how it is. That's how we feel. You know, the respect of each other, being there for each other. So
No doubt. So, at what point in your life did you catch the music bug?
okay, so it's really wild, but My mom was in a band called Stormy Monday. She was actually a lead singer. She also ran a little karaoke thing that she did all the time. When she used to be a bartender, we lived on top of the bar. Um, I used to always kind of join in and do the karaoke thing. So probably about 4 or 5 years old, I really started to get. I was always into music. You know, I always remember the songs and everything my mom would sing and stuff when I was going to sleep. But like, I always was like wanting to be center of attention, like singing with you remember the vacuums, old vacuums, how they stand
Yeah,
on
with
the
the little
handle?
Egan.
Yeah, I get in front of it and just Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, whatever it was, just I loved music. If it made me move, I was into it. And I think I was about 7 or 8 years old. My aunt Debbie, which was married to my aunt, I can't remember what her name was. It's a long time ago, but she was an Elvis Presley performer, impersonator, and everything. And this was a female, and we used to, watch her perform and do all kinds of stuff like that. And so I guess she's the one that brought me into the like entertainment side of things, like not being afraid to get on stage. And as far as hip hop was always in the culture and the environment and everything. And I was always inspired by like the wordplay and stuff like that. And I'll say when I was like 10 or 11 was when I first started freestyling.
Okay.
That's when it really started to sink in. Like, hey man, I really love this. Like this, I've always loved music, but man, I really love this. Like, this is something raw coming out of me that I didn't expect before.
Okay. Now, freestyling is one thing, but taking it from the I'm just messing around freestyling and performing in front of the Hoover to, you know what, let me go create a song.
Right.
Let me see when, because I know I still freestyle.
Deserved.
It's terrible. But at no point, 30 years later, I still have not went in the studio or got a pen and paper to try to handcraft, especially some of the masterpieces you've done. So when did you say, you know what, I'm going to go from this freestyling in front of the Hoover to trying to create something on a listen to level? We ain't even gonna get, we're gonna come to professional level next, but you got to create a listen to level first. So what were the steps of what was the process that you took in saying I'm going from freestyling to writing to studio to finding a beat? What was that process for you?
Okay, so I used to always do the dub over, like I used to always sit there and play somebody's track and to dub over it with another track, freestyling and everything. And one day my boy was like, "Hey man, I want to go meet this. I want you to meet this friend of mine. He's cool people." So we pit patter, we walk all the way over there, and this is literally the story of how it happened to transition. I'm always freestyling, walking, freestyling, we're beatboxing. It was just a constant thing. Back then, ciphers were big. It was just a big part of it. We get to this dude's house and get inside or whatever, and I'm sitting on the couch and something came on TV and I was freestyling to it. He kind of spins around in his chair, and his name is Jeff, but we end up calling him Sins. He spins around his chair and he's like, "Yo, who is that?" And I was like, "Who's what?" He's like, "Who you were just spitting?" I was like, "Oh, it's me. I'm just freestyling." He was like, "You just did that?" He was like, "Do it again." So he's like, "Hey man, have you ever like decided to right before, you know what I mean? Like I'm 16, 15, 16 years old, I'm like, right? Like, oh man, it's all off the top. I don't need no pen or paper. Let's go. He was like, yeah, but there's no structure, like he was an old head trying to speak some knowledge, but he really wasn't too much older than me, maybe like 6 to 8 years older than me. But he was just like, yeah, man, but there's no structure. Like you gotta have structure. You gotta get a formula. Like you want a hook, you want and I'm a young cat. So him bringing me in and just being like, here's the deal, bro. Look, I will invest in you as investing into me if you do two things for me. You get off these streets, you go to school, or you get off these streets and you go get your GED. If you do that, my studio that I build is going to be for me and you to make music with. I still got the projects. I ain't released them yet. I still got those projects. I'm waiting until I get a little bit of a good enough buzz to where people have caught up on my catalog and they know who I am and stuff like that. And then I'll drop it. But I did a whole project, like 2 or 3 projects with them. And it took probably about a year or two for me to really understand the studio element of it, you know, the time sitting in there, actually writing, structuring, being able to write a story and make
Mhm.
it make sense and connect with your emphasis and the flexion of your voice. And, because being an MC and an artist are two different things, like rapping is for somebody that raps, it's fundamental. It's a part of who they are, like, yeah, I rap, I love rapping. But when you start songwriting, it's like you're trying to build this eruption. You know what I mean? You're trying to build this finale. You want it to connect. And I didn't know none of that, but now I do. Like that was the thing. We're going into that studio with him. It was just always freestyle, just always. And he's just like, you can't do that. You ain't gonna be able to write it. And he tried. I mean, we tried multiple times. And it came out all right, but it almost was like, what the hook gonna be? Like ain't no hook on this beat. Hey. But
So that gentleman, he said his name was Jeff.
yeah, his name was Jeff Jones.
All right.
Uh,
So
uh,
how long did you guys nourish that relationship?
okay, so me and Jeff, probably about till I was 18. 18, I started to fall off again. I got a little carried away with the recreational activities. And he tried to, he tried to preach it into me and be like, man, you're falling off, like you're starting to focus more on the DJing than you are the MCing, like I was really getting into the rave scene and the mixing the ones and the twos and the scratching and like I was really starting to get into the DJ scene and
Oh, so you DJ too?
yes sir, yes sir.
Okay, okay.
Probably not as good as you though.
Oh no, 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 no. I'm not a DJ. I just talk.
Hey, they don't wrong with that.
so okay. So he felt like you would concentrate more on the DJing.
Yeah.
So continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, you're fine. No worries. So another one of my buddies approached me too. He said he's like, have you ever tried to juggle like that? Try to juggle being a DJ and an MC at the same time. He's like, it's gonna be really difficult. And so we kind of had a falling out. It wasn't a falling out like we hated each other, but it was just like we weren't agreeing to it. You know what I mean? Like there was no agreement to the decisions being made. And he was right. Like, I can admit it now because I'm not a active, addict and stuff anymore. So it's like I couldn't see that then. Most people can't when they're like that. That's what it does is it puts this veil over everything going around you and it numbs you, to where you don't feel all of life going on around you. And he was right. I went down that tunnel, but it was probably about 2 years of me and him not talking. And I was sitting in it's about 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, and I was recreational activity, and this beat comes on, and it was a techno beat. And my buddy was like, man, we could write a song to this. And I was like, yeah, man, we really could, and it woke it right back up again, man. It was weird. It was like the weirdest thing that ever happened because I hadn't focused on it. I had 2 years, and I never really called him or anything. Like I just kept doing me. I never really did much with the music at that point. I was focused on trying to get myself out of a tough situation, which was recovering. So music got put on the back probably about from the age of 18, 19, 20, 21. Music was kind of on the back burner. It wasn't really something that I was consistent with at all.
Okay.
But I
So
still freestyle.
you mentioned addiction.
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay. First and foremost, what do you feel like started your addiction, and what do you credit for getting you out of the addiction?
Um, Hands down, what started the addiction was me.
Okay.
Letting negative energy get to me and not understanding what life was. Like I said, I didn't understand what my mom was going through. So I looked at it like, okay, God took my pops and now my mom is gone. Like, who do I really have? I got me. All right, I'm good. I'll take this, do this, snort this. That's what it was. And
Right.
all my friends were the same way. So it was kind of like you're in that vicious cycle. It's like you chase the high for the next high every day. That's all it was. Chase the high, chase the high, chase the high. And I can't blame nobody but myself because I allowed myself to do that. But I do feel like a lot of the times, I even wrote a song about it. If you listen to halfway in, which is off of my first album. It's the last track. I'm actually talking about how I feel like I brought the drugs to the nest, to the group, how I got everybody else addicted on the hardcore substances, you know, like, and that was one of my biggest issues that I had with addiction, was the fact that, like, I'm looking at all these people after I'm recovering, and I'm like, man, I'm a start of some of this, you know, like, and that was the big flip for me, was realizing like I got to do something positive now with all the negativity that I've brought with this. And uh, by that point, though, I was getting real. I got into religion really big, really big, because of my fiance at the time. And you know, I joined the military at this time too, so I was still doing music, but it was Christian. It was Christian, you know.
Christian rap?
Yeah, it was Christian rap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know,
Did,
I don't knock it at all. I loved it. It was fun.
did you release anything?
No, I did 2 or 3 tracks, and I released them to like some of my people, you know, let them check it out and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I really, like I said, I was in the military, and hell, we had multiple shows, man, and they would give us guard duty for 24 hours, and we'd have to cancel a show. So it was really hard trying to do something with a music career being in the armed forces. But I still continue to do it from 2005 to 2012. I was in the military, active duty, and I got some tracks I did with some of my veteran buddies, some of my battle buddies. You know, I dropped a couple of them already. I'm gonna drop a few more. I'm gonna call it Street Soldiers or something like that. It's gonna be a little EP, but really dope MCs, man. You know, and they're all active duty soldiers deploying, writing songs. We had studio while we were deployed. We had, you know, the music was there. It's just I guess the opportunities to do something with it weren't really there, because you know, you couldn't get the time you needed. You couldn't be like, yo, I'm gonna go on tour for 4 or 5 days. I'll be back. They don't want to hear that.
Right. I want to pause for a moment and tell you thank you for your service.
Oh, it's an honor of my duty, man. Yes,
people like you, a lot people like me, the opportunity to create platforms. So anytime I meet anyone that has served this country, I ain't gonna take my hat off. Yeah, hats off to you.
Hey, I can't take my
head off. But no, bro, for real, thank you for your service and keeping this country safe.
Well, thank you. It was an honor of my duty, brother. I do it all over again too, man. You know, there's some bad times and stuff like that, but I appreciate folks like you, man, who are giving artists and you know, a platform, a way to, because people don't understand that exposure and interviews and the small little things like that really help structure your career, you know, especially with someone like you, the people that you've worked with, the things that you've done, the type of platform you've got, man. I've been rocking with you for a minute. You know, checking everything you guys got going on. And the one thing I love about it is the artistry. Like when you get into chat, it's artists, supporter, but you know what I mean? Like, but it's mainly the backbone of what all this is built off of, and that's the artists. So mad props and thank you. This is a huge honor for me to be on this show, man.
I'm gonna be
wife.
I'm gonna be honest. Everything I've done in over 30 years, it's been trying, because I know artists are trying to change their family lives through their talent. And I've always said, well, I don't know how to rap. I don't know how to sing. I've managed and I've done consulting. But when it comes to talent, my talent is interviewing, news. So I'm gonna use my talent to help other people with talent. If you want me to be honest, and to me, and my key thing is I never ever try to bash anyone, because I tell people all the time that it might not be the one for me, but that doesn't mean it's not for somebody else. So you'll never hear me ever say something is bad or terrible. That's not my place, bro. Because I know how much time and energy come into me making videos. So I can imagine how much time and energy goes into someone like yourself who really poured your heart out on that pen and paper. And you took your last $35 to hit the studio to get your little mix and master to get to some reactor for them to tell them it's crap. You know what I'm saying? Look, your old lady might be mad because she want to go to the movies, but you need that mix and master just for me to react to it to say it's terrible, bro.
Why
I
you
will
preaching? Why you
never,
preaching at the beginning of my life?
hey, bro, I will never be that disrespectful to a person's hard work.
Yes, sir.
I always will build a person up. It might not be for me, but that don't mean the next one won't be. I believe in building a healthy chain of good relationships. Not everybody I meet don't believe in that, but it's okay.
Yes,
It's
sir.
okay. Back to this walk. Back to this walk.
Hey,
I'll get
let's take it.
sidetracked, man. Don't
Let's
let me
go.
get to
Hey,
talking.
you good, man? I'm here. Like I said, I'm here from 7 to 7 a.m. However long you need me.
Okay, so you go serve, you go off, serve the country. I assume you get out.
2012.
How did you pick back up on the music? Did you hook back up with Jeff or did you go another route? What was the new route?
Okay, so I got out in 2012 and I knew I was getting out. I knew that I was going to be dealing with the adjustment phase, going from active duty,
Hold on, can I
sergeant.
stop you? Can I stop you?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends who served. And you talked about addiction, but prior to going to the military, right? So I assume that you got straight before you went into the military.
Yes, that's actually one of the things that actually helped me stay strong on that path was joining the military.
Okay. Now I know a lot of people who go into the armed forces and they struggle when they come out
Yes.
and they're introduced to a form of addiction or they re-pick it up. What was your journey like coming home?
Very rough. My wife is the one who she was the real soldier. She
Okay.
was you're so used to being up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, making sure your troops are where they need to be, accountability, all that goes away. You're up at 4:35 in the morning, you have nothing to do, you're in your head, your family's sleeping, you know what I mean? So like idle hands are the devil's playground, and so if you let your mind get to you, then your mind's going to get to you and you start thinking about what was happening. Why are you here? Why are you not there? Why are you not with your troops? You know what I mean? All these things start flooding in your head, and it can lead to drinking. And that's what happened with me. I immediately, the minute I got out, it was immediately drinking. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I burned, like I've always burned, but like the drinking is a vice. It's a vice for me. Everybody's got their vices.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I didn't know how big of a vice alcohol was for me. But it was actually triggering the PTSD or the nightmare terrors and stuff like that even more, and I didn't realize that because if I see it, I drink it. That was my mentality. You see it, you drink it. If it's there, it's getting drunk. And a lot of soldiers deal with that, when because they're in the same mind state. They're like, man, what am I gonna do with myself? I've been taking care of these troops, for this long, and now I'm just sitting here at the house, bored, drunk. I get phone calls all the time, man. I'm telling you, like 2:33 in the morning, some of my buddies I serve with and stuff, and they just want to talk. And it's because of that, exactly what you were saying right there.
Hey man, I can imagine that culture shock because you talk about 4:30 in the morning. I bet you getting up looking around, everybody sleep. You know,
Yeah.
did
Or
you
you
did
haven't
you
went to sleep yet.
did you ever have any type of anxieties or withdrawal from being away, even though you got your family here, but you don't have that military family? Like, was it hard to jump from one life to the other?
Very difficult. Camaraderie
Mm-hmm.
is a huge part of the military. The same with your brotherhood, with your people, your family, your friends. But the thing is finding the same camaraderie that you have in the military is really difficult in the transition to the civilian side. And, you know, and the reason that is because a lot of people who are in the military have stories that they're not telling people, and they only feel comfortable talking to other veterans and stuff like that. So it takes them a while to find that camaraderie. I found that camaraderie in music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like same mind state, wanting to accomplish something, create vibes, save lives one day at a time with a message, a content that's clear. Like I found it all in music. I never thought I'd find it. And that was the one thing that helped wake me up, you know, other than my wife consistently pushing. You know, she was like the gas. Just, you know, I'm the fireball. She just keeps providing the gas. She's always like, oh, I don't care. I don't care how you're feeling right now. If you're down and out in your head, you know, go do what you do best and write a song about it. You know, like really supportive. So
I gotta say that I gotta ask now, because that's her fourth mention.
yes.
Fourth mention in 20, 25 minutes. How long have you and your wife been together? You ain't got to shout her out, but how if you want to shout out, man, everybody knows I'm a advocate for marriage. I shout my wife out all the time. If
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to shout out, you can, but how long have y'all been together?
Me and Lady Luck been going for 14, 15 years.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Children?
Yes, we have 2 children, and I have 2 other kids in my other marriage.
Okay, well,
my
man, so
ex-wife.
that's another salute to you
Yeah.
on fatherhood and husbandhood, bro. Like that's a job in itself.
Oh yeah, especially with the music, you know, like that song "Going." You guys did a reaction on it and everything.
Mhm.
At the episode 137, I can't remember the exact number, but that song was wrote about separation anxiety. You know, like with me and my wife, with me going to shows and not being with each other and stuff like that's what that. So like the whole beginning of the song and everything, where it sounds distant and everything, because that's like where it's supposed to take you. It was like she hates the song, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like she hates that song. She loves it, but she hates it. You know, like she hates it because it's what it's about. Separation anxiety.
Do you have separation anxiety?
Uh yeah, actually I used to with her
Okay.
because I used to always like it's weird to say it, but I used to always fear that I was gonna not have my family when I came back from a show. You know, like
Shit, that ain't weird.
well, you know, it's just because it's like you're taking all the time, the sacrifice in the music. That's why I tell a lot of these younger guys getting into it, younger female art, you know, just let them know like you're gonna put everything into this. It's not just a walk in the park. You've got to put everything, time, energy. You know, so be ready. And that was my biggest fear though. So yeah, definitely had anxiety in that
Bro,
sense.
let me tell you something. I have separation anxiety. I am in my studio. My studio is in my home. My wife is downstairs. And I don't have, they're not insecurities. It's just I know how important she is to the makeup that is me.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I might be texting her, baby, what you doing? What you got? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in a marriage before. And I know that if you don't correct the mistakes you make when you're in a point again, when you're there again, you'll make them again. So, bro, everything my first marriage, I took mental inventory of everything that I was responsible for. Never ever focused 1 second on what she done. I put all the focus on me to make me better. And I think as people, if we put the focus on ourselves to be better for the next time we're in that situation, shit, you'll be good. You know how to win. Because I don't think there's a such thing as a one-time situation.
Right.
You know how people say, let me ask a dumb question? It's no dumb question because chances are you're going to ask the question again or somebody else is going to ask it.
Right.
So, bro, life is just a cycle. Just
Yeah.
try to better yourself every time. Hit a strike out the first time, bunt the second time, single the third time. Just try to gradually get better. And that comes from working within yourself. So separation anxiety, hey man, shit. Bro, I have separation anxiety so much I take my wife to work with me.
That's real. They're gonna work with
We
it.
work at the same place, bro. You need to come work. We both work at the same place. See, and it's not insecurity. I promise you. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about a lot of people. Oh, you just no, bro. I love that lady. I need that lady. She my oxygen tank. You know what I'm saying? I'll be running. I can't breathe. Where you at? So, hey, bro.
That's love, man. That's love. I respect that.
Hey, bro.
Definitely.
That's like bro, I just believe, and it's not like I believe in that when it comes to good people. Like, bro, surround yourself with good, positive people. Everybody ain't got to rap. Some of them could be this, some but it's all about uplifting. Like, I try to be someone, like I say, my best friend who raps, he was in the military. And he's educated me on. It's funny. I literally just text him that you're talking to me about the stuff he talks to me about, that
Wow.
military life and that transition. And it's like, dang, so I know that's real because but having people that you can talk to, bro, having men that are husbands that can talk to you about the hardships of being a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. 100%.
when you married, don't go talking to your single homeboys. They ain't got no information for you, bro.
And they don't care neither, really. It makes it. I understand 100%. Like, everything changes. Like, we got a friend of ours. He ain't got no kids, and he's always making jokes like, "Man, I ain't gonna be able to hang out. I ain't gonna take the kids to the swimming pool and this, that, and the other." I'm like, man, you ain't even got no kids, bro. You just fronting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So you're home. You're able to deal with some of these coping mechanisms through your music. Music becomes your coping mechanism, correct?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's definitely the therapy sessions.
So what made you completely nosedive and submerge yourself into this? No, rewind, stop. Because I got to ask a question I've been wanting to ask for 3 years. The name NoneReala. How did that name come about?
Okay, so it's funny. I I had me and my wife. You remember back in the day when you could put the hashtags at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
of the text messages? We used to put NoneReala, right? And I had a homeboy from the Shy. His name was Adriatic. Me and him were working on freestyling together and stuff like that. And he was like, "Man, we need to do a track." And I was like, "All right, bet I'll chop it up with you later." He was like, "All right, NoneReala." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Dang, that sounds like." Why'd you call me NoneReala? He was like, "That's your name, man. It sounds with your music, everything, it fits you perfect, bro." Like, he's like, "But I ain't gonna call you NoneReala. I'm gonna call you Rilla." And I was like, "Okay, I got my name from my dude from the shot and my wife." Like, and it stuck from that moment, because he was like, "Everything you talk about is real life." He's like, "You're not talking about being the realest dude on the street or nothing like that." He's like, "You're really talking about the message and the content in your music." He's like, "But you got to get somebody to mix it." That was something I was going to talk on too, was like critique, like that's one thing that helped build me was people telling me like, "Yo, the mix sucks." Like, you got to get this fixed. Like, the lyrics are good, but the mix sucked. But that's I took NoneReala and I turned it into none representing zero and nothing, and Rilla meaning something that exists, real, and so nothing to something. It's kind of like, that's why everything's none realer than I, because I'm not talking about myself. Because if you say it yourself, you're actually talking about yourself.
Right.
So it's like, and it just stuck with me from then. Everybody's always called me Rilla. But that's the true story behind how I got NoneReala. It was a text message, buddy from Shy, and my wife, just something we said to each other all the time.
So you didn't go through multiple name changes and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, most of us do. You know how that goes.
What was your worst name ever?
I'd have to say Bugs. They call me Bugs.
Why?
Because I used to always wear white and black flags, like,
Uh-huh.
and Pac would tie it up here.
Uh-huh.
Well, my head was smaller than Pac, so when I had time, I'd have really long. You know what I mean?
It look
They
like
be
some
really
ears.
long, bro. You look like some damn ears, no? Like, if you had Bugs Bunny and you put a bandana over his head, his ears are poking out. That's what I
Yeah.
look like.
Okay.
So they call me Bugs. That only lasted probably like a year or so though. But the coolest one to me was the one I was gonna really stick with was Roswell. It's when I first started out, when I really started doing studio work.
Mhm.
And what it represented was alien to society.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, I told you I was gonna be. I think I told you this one time. I think I talked to you about it, but the name Backbone. Does it ring a bell? It was with like Dungeon Family or
Yeah,
something.
Backbone. That's my partner.
Yeah. So the military non-commissioned officers, we call ourselves Backbone sergeants. So I was gonna go by Backbone, but then I started going into the history. I was like, Nah, he was with I ain't doing that. Now I gotta respect the people that put the pavement stones
Yeah.
down, man. You know, so I was like, I'm not gonna go with that. But
Yeah.
that was it. NoneReala's just stuck, man. It's been there. So
But it'll be around. That's and did not and I bet you a lot of people don't know it's none realer than I.
right.
And then
Like
when you say I've read it, but now saying it none realer than I'm like, yeah, yeah.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
would imagine if you in a crowd of people and everybody's just like, none realer than I. No, it's like everybody's just hyping themselves up, like,
Yes. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So taking music serious for you, how big of a leap was that?
I kind of did it. I kind of did it really quick, honestly. I rushed into it because I didn't rush into the whole commitment side of it. I rushed into the financial side of it. Like me and my wife saved up and stuff, went and paid for my name, made sure it was copywritten, trademarked, you know, all
So
the
you
stuff.
weren't playing.
No, I wasn't. You know, we invested into it, LLC, everything, and I would have went international, but it was like another $1,000 more or whatever. So I was like, I ain't big, you know, I ain't worried about that. And my buddy's like, man, you spent all that money on your name. You could have put that on this and that and the other. And I was like, yeah, bro, but I want this name to be my name. When you look up the name, I want it to be my name that you find, nobody else's, you know, and I'm gonna invest into that. And so I did, and it took about 3-4 years to bounce from it, you know. But
Right.
2014, me and my wife said, look, we've got everything we want, the name and all of it. Let's start pushing it. And that's when we started pushing everything on Instagram. Um, and that's when I met my first manager and first distribution management team, which was Ray Gotti, or not Ray Gotti. Yeah, it is. Is it Ray Gotti? Yeah, not Ray Gotti the rapper, but Ray Gotti, Irv Gotti's brother, and Diamond. I can't think of his name. Dex Diamond,
Mm-hmm.
and my other buddy, which was AVM Adventures Music.
Mm-hmm.
I was teaming up with them at the time, and I released 2 singles with them. And good people and stuff, you know what I mean? But I just didn't have the ends. I didn't have the finances. Because like if you had like 10, 15 racks, you could get spun on all the radio stations, everything else. They had the connections. You just had to have the bank account.
Right.
And so I kind of backed out of that towards the end, you know. And he still hits me up all the time, you know. He's like, man, you can still distribute music through us, do whatever you want. We're cool like that. And I was like, man, I appreciate it, but you know, now I'm with Outlaw Nation, you know, so it's like I'm doing everything. We do everything on our own through our own,
Right.
you know, and so, but I still see him, you know, he'll message me. I need to message him back, matter of fact. But I first kicked everything off though. I tried to do it like the big way, like, no, I'm gonna go for a
Yeah.
real distributor and everything else, but I didn't have the money for it, you know, and so I struggled because of that.
So were you initially leaning towards the genre of country rap, or what was your music? What was your sound like in 2014?
2014, chopping, you know, just like really could syllables, punches, metaphors. I was really shooting for strange music. Shout out to Tech,
Take
Travis,
9.
the
Mm-hmm.
whole fam, Chris, everybody, man. I really love strange music. I've always loved the sound. You know, I've always been inspired big time from dark sound music like Twista, you know, 3 6 Mafia, Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know, music like that. Hobson, just always inspired me with that dark sound, but they could always bring something positive out of it somehow. And so I was really going for strange, man. I actually entered in a Tech Nine competition. Now, an 18-year-old kid got all of us, man. He did really great. He was chopping, but that's who I was shooting for in the beginning. I never thought I'd be in country rap. I really
Okay.
didn't. Um, I guess as I got older, though, more songwriting came than just rapping.
Okay. Um, what was your introduction like to Outlaw Nation? Like, how did you, after your situation with Ray Gotti, like what was next for you, and when did you get involved with Outlaw Nation?
So 2019, 2018, 2009, I went on tour, I think 2017, 2018, around the bonfire. We were doing this East Coast thing, this little East Coast tour and stuff. And there was this group called Lifestyle on Facebook. it was like a bunch of MC stuff. We had Freestyle Fridays and everything. And so like ODR, Durty, me, Stacks, you know, all the names, like we are all kind of hanging out in the same area. And Durty got hit up with Boss, which is New Breed, you know, and he started rocking with him, and they started doing a Million Miles Away and everything else. And he's like, man, he's like, they're gonna do this show. Where we want all the artists that, you know, we really rock with it, that really want to do it. We want them to come and perform. So they got this. They had this lady, I can't remember her name. She was kind of like doing like this little mini management thing. And she hit all of us artists up, and she's like, "All y'all show up." This is right after Welcome to My House dropped, because Welcome to My House dropped December 2020, I think. So 2021 February was the date that we all met up in at Big Puckets in Tennessee, and that's where everybody met up. That was the first big show. So my introduction to them was, it was kind of crazy because I didn't expect the type of reaction I got from New Breed in it, but you know, New Breed he grabbed the mic and he was like, "Hey man, I don't know if you guys know who this dude is. I don't know who he is. This is my first time hearing him, but if you ain't following him, I'm following him. You need to, because he's got some really good music." And that blew my mind. You know what I mean? Because I'm just there to do what I love doing, and you know, to get that type of reaction from the headliner, somebody such as New Breed, who's a dope artist, MC, and who's building at the time, building a really, you know, really big name, and a really big like motion, like a movement. And so it was just crazy. Like, and you know, I wasn't signed to Outlaw Nation. I toured with them and everything. I was what we were calling an affiliate at that time. And just touring with them, man, you know, shooting music videos, helping them, you know, just being a teammate, being a brother, family member. And that's really the first night I met Outlaw Nation, other than Durty. That's my brother, you know. The first night I met everybody else with Outlaw Nation. Um, Boss, literally, they fed me, they gave me a place to sleep, like since day one, and I've never had to ask for anything since then, you know. So really, my introduction was great as far as music went, but the introduction to becoming a family member, somebody that they really cared about, that was the most important part, like I said, because that was that camaraderie. It just kept getting bigger. You know, because I met OG Black Sheep. I was with OG Black Sheep with Black Sheep Family Entertainment at the time when I first met everybody. But me and OG had always had this conversation, because he's big bro. I love him to death. Like, he's always looked out for me and everything. But he always told me, he was like, "I'll never keep you from going up and elevating your career ever, because I love you. I would rather you do great, you know, than just give up." And I told him, you know, I was like, "Man, you know, I'll always be Black Sheep Family Entertainment, but I'm not gonna say no to Outlaw Nation. Not with everything they've done for me and everything else." And he respected that, and we're still cool to this day. And you know, um, it's great, man. It's like we're all pushing. I like to say it's a magnifying glass. It don't matter who makes it from your circle. If one person makes it out that circle, that magnifying glass is now on you. It's up to you and everybody else around you to make that bad boy expand bigger.
Yes. And that's also the power of strength in numbers. If one person is winning, nobody should be losing.
100.
No, if one is winning, there is no damn way anybody should be losing. You should figure out a way to increase the movement and the motion, and build onto it. And that's what and I've always had a large amount of admiration for Outlaw Nation. You're actually the first person through Outlaw Nation I'm talking to. Hopefully, this is going to open the gateway to others. I even sent my condolences to you know, Joe during his tragic situation. I'm real cool with the Sticks, who are now part of Outlaw Nation. I've been rocking with them since 2015, when the Sticks was a 4-member group. So, but I've always felt like, and I know Outlaw Nation, they get their flowers as a whole because they're talked about. But sometimes I feel like as a whole, they're kind of slept on when you think of what people would consider the Mount Rushmore of country rap. So I think because Outlaw Nation is like a conglomerate,
yeah,
you know, they don't put one particular on the Mount Rushmore. But Outlaw Nation is a Mount Rushmore, so it don't even matter. Because y'all got a collective of so many dope, talented people. it don't really matter which room you go into, it's gonna be a room of talent. And I think that's really, really dope. So you're an amazing company. Now I gotta ask this. So that camaraderie that you gained in the military, how much did you get it back with Outlaw Nation?
100% the same. 100% the same. I mean, it's funny because Boss actually has a joke. This album that I dropped, the official one, the last one I dropped, the official Outlaw Nation album I dropped with him, was actually recorded. I spent the summer with Drew, Beast by Drew. Me and him slept at Boss's studio for like 3 or 4 months. We're doing the tour, but we were sleeping in there, making this whole entire album, right? And Boss used to come out there and he'd wake us up like 10:30 in the morning because we've been up all night working. He'd be like, man, I wish I could be like you guys, just hang out in the studio and camp out, make nothing but tracks. But it's like that's what I mean. It was like, who's gonna just let you come to their studio, go in their house, make something to eat, feed you and your people, make songs, go hang out, play the guitar out by the fire, right? It's like it's just family, man. It's like our shows. We don't even call our shows the official Outlaw Nation shows. We don't call them shows. We call them family reunions.
That's
Because
dope though.
yeah, it's what it should be. You should feel like you're comfortable when you're around us because we're all just people.
So Outlaw Nation as a collective, artist wise, because I know there are people that are part of Outlaw Nation that aren't artists, but who are the artists?
Okay, so the official artists are obviously New Breed, Jesse Howard. You've got the band, Isaac Haney, beats by Drew, Eddie E.R. Robinson, who is a producer too, big bro. And then you got Beats by Drew, he's doing bass. And you got Isaac Haney who's shredding. And then you've got as far as artists go, you're gonna have your boy Durty, Hitman, myself, the Sticks, Walt Lamb. I said Hitman, right?
Yeah.
It should be. We also got Track Junkie. Track Junkie does work. He does production too. He also does majority of the promotional stuff that you see as far as like website stuff and all that. Track's got a big part of that. Him and Boss Beverly. But yeah, as far as artists go, that's pretty much it.
Okay. As an artist, because I'm used to the you chopping, but I played a song and I wasn't so used to the vocals. Where did that singing come from? Hold on, let me ask you this. Does that come from Stormy Mondays?
Yeah, so that's gonna come from Mama. Yeah, that's the country side, southern rock side coming out of me. I used to sit there and sing with her all the time, like all the time, and she started getting me to do her karaoke stuff with her. So I started singing a lot of Godsmack, just stuff to kind of get the crowd up and going. With some rock vocals, and it's funny that you say that because I would be able to sing 100,000 times better than I do now. But when I was in the military, I actually came in contact with some type of chemical or something. I don't know what it was. But it gave me something they call vocal cord dysfunction, which is exertion. So it destroyed all the cartilage here, my vocal folds, my stomach lining was messed up, like a lot
Whoa.
of, and I couldn't sing anymore. Like I actually sounded like this. Like it was bad. You know what I mean? Like because you could hear the rasp in my voice.
Mhm.
And so I had to go through voice pathology, learn how to talk. They were teaching me how to talk through the bottom of like a styrofoam cup with a straw and listen to consonants. And so I had to teach myself how to properly talk again as well as sing again and learn how to control everything. And I just never stopped, even though they told me I'd never rap or sing again. I mean, they literally told me that. I just never stopped because that's all I've done my whole life. The one thing never left me was music. So I wasn't gonna give up on it because I knew it wouldn't give up on me. And but that's where I got the singing from was Mama. And the poetry I got from the Waving Angel, Aunt Lorna Mae, rest in peace. She used to always write poetry and stuff. And that's one thing I always respected about Tupac was he wasn't just a lyricist, he was a poet. Like Rose grew from the concrete, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So
So when it comes to hip hop or music as a whole, and I know Boss New Breed is an influence, but would it be fair to say Tupac was a big influence also?
Tupac and Biggie Smalls, definitely the
Okay.
legends. But you know, like that's when people ask me that question, it's kind of hard for me because I've got like echelons. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like you got your legends, but like I still got to give my props and stuff to big inspirations like Method Man, Busta Rhymes, and you know, Big Daddy Kane, and you know, like all the true hip hop. Like I always got to give them their props, but I definitely say Pac and Biggie, man.
Did you say Big Daddy Kane?
Yeah, triple syllable hopping. That's where it all came from. That's the birth of it.
Man, I have never interviewed anyone in the genre of country rap who mentioned that name.
Big Daddy Kane?
Bro, do
Big
you
Big
know?
L? Like there's a lot of names from the inspire. I mean, like
I'm
hey,
I
don't
got bro, I gotta salute you just for mentioning Big Daddy Kane's. If I could rap, I would have that was who I would have been. Because I came up in the era where, you know, I'm dark skinned and Big Daddy Kane jumped out there and I'm like, oh, he looked like he could be like me.
hey,
I had a flat top. I used to wear suits. And so instead of rapping, I learned how to dance. So if you ever want to do a Big Daddy Kane cover, I'll get on stage with you. I go to work. I know
oh,
all the Big Daddy Kane dance moves.
you want me to do it? You want me to do a Big Daddy Kane cover? Hey,
I come do the dance move. You remember how I used to have the dancers? I know all the Big Daddy dances. Hey, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back for real. Salute to you though, but hey, salute to you on knowing your hip hop history for real, for real.
Oh
I know
yeah,
my man
I
just
love
hit
hip
me.
hop.
So what branch of he told me that? What branch of the military were you in? Because I did not ask that question.
I was in the army.
All right. He was in Army Infantry 09 to 12.
Okay, I was 2005 to 2012. So
Okay.
tell him I was with Third Infantry Division.
All right, I'm texting him now. He Third Infantry?
Yeah, Third Infantry Division, Fort Stewart.
All right, I'm sorry.
The
All right,
Martin Express.
before we get up out of here,
And thank you for his service, by the way. Let him know I said that. I appreciate that.
and he said, big salute to you.
Oh, 100%. Basically, I got, and you know, you asked the question what branch I was. I got the Army. If you look at my wrist, I got the Army, I got the Marines, the Navy, the Coast Guard, and like, see, I got all the way around. And then I got my weapon status on my wrist too. But like, that's my dedication. It says Brothers in Arms.
All right, before I get you out of here, bro,
Okay.
I gotta ask, because you dropped a project at the beginning of the year called Hairline Fracture.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that project and what went into it. How much did it mean to you? Where you were at as far as mentally and where you wanted to be, or what did you want to achieve with it? And why the name Hairline Fracture?
I chose the name Hairline Fracture because I felt like this was the, you know, everybody likes to say you're scratching the surface. You haven't really scratched the surface to it. I feel like this is the point to where I've already scratched the surface and now I'm breaking through. I've created a hairline fracture. I'm letting people see the artist that I am rather than just rapping. There was a lot of songwriting in Hairline Fracture. You know, a very versatile album for me. And that's the one I wrote with Beats by Drew when we were in the studio camping, basically hanging out and everything. You know, he pretty much produced that entire album, other than Boss. Boss produced Hostage, but the rest of it was produced by Beats by Drew.
Okay. Okay. Out of all these records, I'm gonna go over some titles.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me. Pity the Fool.
Pity the Fool.
Is that Mr. T?
Nope. See, so Pity the Fool is actually in reference to growing up without a father, especially families that it's a traditional thing to where the father is never really in their lives. Pity is a toy. Um, he's a jester, which is Pity the Fool, and it's in reference to the lifestyle. So basically, he's a toy that's brought into the life of a family, and he's used over the years. He's beaten up. He's put back together. You know, springs, all kinds of stuff. He's falling apart, and he's always thrown in a corner or something like that. And that's kind of like how growing up without a father felt like. Just pick me up, play with me, hold me, because it used to be that way type of thing. So that's why I called it Pity the Fool. It was a huge reference. That's why it's I believe it's the first track, ain't it?
It's the first track.
Yeah.
First track.
So I wanted to introduce it that way.
Raymond.
Raymond was about me, recognizing that no matter how much, because I used to be like, man, I can't believe how much addictions is done. Because I used to get messages and stuff about addictions and how it helped people, and just I couldn't believe it. But at the end of the day, though, I can't forget I got to be Raymond. Like I'm a husband, I'm a father. I got to be this person first, no matter what. I can't let the music side take over what I'm really truly doing the music for.
Typical you.
Typical you is something I used to hear all the time back in the day. Used to hear like typical Thomas, because we all were getting drunk or getting in trouble, DUIs, wind up in jail and fights. And I changed it because now I'm older. I became the one thing I didn't want to be, which is I don't get to see my other kids too much, And so typical you was written in the aspect of my daughter and my son on the first verse, and the second verse is me responding to them. So basically typical you is just like saying like typical Thomas, like not there with your kids, like you gotta fix it.
Okay.
So
last one, hostage.
Hostage. All right, so hostage was it came to me, boss let me hear a bunch of beats. This is the first song I wrote for the album. Boss gave me a bunch of beats and I was running through them, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna go in here, I'll see you in the morning. I wrote to it that night. We woke up the next day and recorded it. The reason why I wrote it was when I heard the loop that boss had played for me, it just had this punch to it, to where it was like I just kept thinking about being trapped and locked inside the house, because I didn't want to be close to my friends because I knew they had drugs and I was going to do them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like no matter where I went, it was there. Like I was even going to like paint a picture in the video at one point to where there was just like everywhere I went, there was like a little, line of pills. Open the refrigerator, there's a pill sitting on a butter crock butter, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Cause that's how I felt when I was writing it too, was like, that's what I wanted to really just capture like that feeling like, yo, this dude really is talking about being trapped. Like these drugs really got him chained by this devil.
No doubt. NoneReala, it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Question I want to ask before we get up out of here. Are there any artists of any genre you would like to work with? Other than Outlaw, outside of Outlaw Nation, because I know that's famo, and y'all got talent upon talent upon talent upon talent. Were there any artists that you would love to collab with that you feel like y'all can make a masterpiece?
Man,
and don't even have to be rap.
If I ever had the opportunity, I would definitely like to do a track with Ritz.
Ooh, that's my homie.
Ritz is probably one of the most smoothest choppers
He is.
I've ever, like his enunciation and everything else. He deserved his lane when he was with Strange. Like, and Yella looking out for him and introducing him, man, that's big love. But definitely Ritz. As far as a different type of aspect, man, I would really like to do a song with who is that band? They do that song Human. I'm
the old record. I'm only human. I know not that.
No, it's I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of the name of it. But it's he's basically talking about how he came down from the stars. It's like a rock rap. He kills it, man. I wish I could think of the name of that band. I'll send you the link when I find it, just so you can check it out. You'll probably know what I'm talking about in a minute you hear it. Okay. Like no one has ever been this fucking ready before. Yeah. Yeah. It's how I see it.
Yeah, send me the link. Send me the link.
Yeah. You'll like it though. You'll be like, this is different.
Is it Humans and Monsters?
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely would like to do a song with that guy. I just gotta see you do it.
Okay. Bro, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I look forward to talking to you. We might have to do this on a yearly basis at least, bro.
Oh,
You
anytime.
know,
Anytime we chop it up, you know. I love this. Like
cause
definitely.
you don't hit me with the Big Daddy Kane. So now I got a new broski. You actually
Hey,
got some hip hop history in you.
hey, if you know what, if you get a chance, listen to Busta Rhymes and Q-Tip. They put a project out about like 6, 7, 8 Christmases ago. It's called The Dragon, and I'll send you that link too. But it's literally Busta Rhymes and Q-Tip in the stew, killing it. I mean, like back in the day when they were kicking up Tribe Called Quest and the Dragon time frame, purple tapes. You know what I mean? Like,
Hold on, man. I'm looking this up because I ain't never
yes,
heard of
nasty.
no. I've heard of them talking about doing stuff. Was it a
Oh,
mixtape?
I think it was. I think it was. It might have been an album. They released it during Christmas. I think it was like 2011, 2010, 2011. They released it.
You talking about two people I love. Who's your favorite chopper of all time, other than yourself?
Twister.
Twister?
And the reason why I say that was because his first album was the first time I really got into aggressive chopping. Like when I Adrenaline Rush, I lived by that song when it came to learning it. Like that was the song I wanted to like the minute I can learn how to spit Adrenaline Rush, I'm chopping. I knew it. You know, like the minute I can say it word for word, syllable and everything, I'm good for chopping. That was my goal.
So do your kid and I said, look, I said it's my last question. I asked 3 more cents. Do your kids know daddy is a rapper?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How do they how do they act knowing daddy is a rapper?
Uh
And do you foresee music in any of your kids' future?
definitely. My daughter, from what my ex told me, she raps. Um, yeah, so I can't wait to see that. Actually sit down, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, supposedly she raps. My ex ain't happy about it. So I'm curious because I'll put her on track real quick. Let's go. Anything to heat that moment up even more. Like
Right, no doubt.
but Ethan, he I catch him, we'll catch him in the mirror, and he'll be like, it's so and so and so, and we're coming back for you. And we'll be like looking at him, and he'll be like, oh man, I didn't know y'all were watching me. But he's doing like his own little promos and
Right.
stuff in the mirror. So I can definitely see that. But you know, they love it. They love the music. They sing it, they promote it at school, you know, they're real big supporters, but I'm still daddy to them. Like, you know, like
So you
that's
never you ever had a my daddy's a rapper moment with your kid telling another kid?
oh yeah, yeah. Actually, my son Zachary was at school, and his parents know who Outlaw Nation is, and so they knew who I was. So when that kid told my son that, I gave him like 4 bracelets, a dog tag for the kid, and I think one for his mom and dad. I can't remember what all I gave him, and I know I gave him an album too, and a shirt. Yeah, and I gave him a shirt too. So gave him, you know, a nice little swag bag merch thing, and
Right.
but it's cool, you know. That's what it's about, though, man. You know, if I got support like that in school from kids because of other kids and their parents and stuff, that means that the music's getting there, and that's local. That was a huge surprise to me. I didn't expect that. So,
What if your kids say, hey, we want you to come perform at the pep rally?
oh yeah, I'm down. Let's go. Let me speak to the youth. Let God shine on that one, because that's how I look at it. It's God's hands, God's plans, man. I wouldn't be nowhere near where I am right now. I mean,
Absolutely. God's
100%.
hands, God's plan.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. My brother, I'm gonna have your number. I
Always.
hope that we won't be strangers
Yes,
because
sir.
I feel that we have a connection
Connection.
that we can build a brotherhood.
Yes, sir. 100%. 100%. And I respect too, man. The duels. Look, hey, let me tell you what. It's not only ingenious because of the interaction, but it's giving people an opportunity to shine. You know, like to literally shine, like in a way that everybody wants to as an artist. This is MC stuff. you know, like you want the bars and everything else. And so like I'm gonna go through and watch all the old ones too, just so I can catch up.
Well, they say with the good comes the bad. So I'm getting some backlash, but
I'm gonna admit to you right now before we go, I got suckered in by myself into the negative energy when I was first getting into the YouTube world because I didn't understand the entire
right.
aspect of it all. You know what I mean? I was supposed to just come in and be an artist and do what you do as an artist, but I got into like the whole lifestyle of it, and negative energy came, and I got caught into it, and I don't want the drama. I don't want the negativity no more. So this is what I'm doing, and hey man, I'm trying to do tracks with all kinds of people. So Blind Squad, what is it? JJ Owens, he sent me a track. I'm gonna do a track with JJ Owens. Um, yeah, I'm getting people sending me tracks. It might take me a little time to do them, you know, because of school and everything. But I'm gonna do these tracks, you know,
Okay.
get them out there just because. Like,
oh, so you got people hitting you up for features now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
You did a feature of one of my partners who as I started my journey into country rap. Like I said, I came from FM radio, but I had a show on a community station, it was 100,000 watt community station, but I always played a country rap here, a country rap there. I didn't realize how big the genre had grown. And then when I started to do a show catered to the genre, one of the first artists to embrace me was Knuckles. And I know you got a song with Knuckles.
Hey, that's my bro, man. Let's go. Yeah, we did Keep on Marching.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's probably the first time I heard of you on a record because he was talking about all the artists he was working with, and your name came up, and then I listened to it. But man, I love Mr. Basketball Shorts and Cowboy Boots.
Hey man, he's himself. He's true to himself, you know. And he does his thing too on stage, the energy, everything.
All right. Anything you want to say in closing?
Hey man, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to come up here and say what's up to everybody. Cause I know a lot of people don't know who I am, you know what I mean? Like, and so every opportunity that I get, I'm gonna try and make the best of it and let them know the real side. And I appreciate you being real with me during the interview and just letting us chop it up and kick it. Cause
Bro, that's
like
all
you,
I know. That's
yeah,
all I and guess what? Moving forward, anytime I can do anything to help people know about you, you got my number.
Yes, sir. 100%.
And we can, hey man, if you check out the Country Rap Report Instagram, I'm always taking quotes that people said on Twitter, reposting them. So anything I can do, you want me to post, bro, hit me up. And I'll be honest, because I work 2 jobs on top of this.
Grinding.
And it might take me a while, but all you gotta do is hit me. You have to just kind of, hey man, not like, hey bro, bro. I promise you, I swear to God, I feel a kindred spirit, and you reached out to me, and we did this, and we just had an amazing conversation. I'm Team NoneReala.
I appreciate that. Definitely.
Team NoneReala. So
I'm riding Durty Radio all the way, man. We just go.
No doubt. Hey man, anything you want to add before we get up out of here?
No, man, just want to give a big shout out to everybody that's been supporting us, dropping the music, the likes, the love. Big shout out to my wife and my kids for staying by me through it. And everybody that's in the circle that we do music with, man, all the artists, just keep doing you. Do you, and in the end, the reward will be greater. And that's what Tech Nine said to Ritz. And I've been going by that since the day that I heard that. Just do you, and in the end, the reward will be greater. A big shout out to my family, Outlaw Nation Music. I wouldn't be anywhere without God, my kids and wife, and them. So, and boss always says, "Yo, man, stop that. It's you. You did this. Like you did this first. So, but thank you to everybody out there, man, that's helping us make this happen. It's crazy.
Appreciate it, my G.
Hey, you be easy, man. Much love to you and yours.
All right. Let me get my out of here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was my guy, NoneReala. If y'all have not checked out his latest project, make sure you check out his latest project. It's called Hairline Fracture. Again, salute and thank you to NoneReala for his service. Salute and thank you for him coming on this show. And salute and thank you for him always keep creating great music. All right, ladies and boys, girls, about to get about it. It's your boy Vic XL. This is the Country Route Report. Remember, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, check out the content, hit that notification bell. Remember, time is the one thing you can't get back. And if you spend time checking out this episode, we love and appreciate you. Until the next episode, salute to my guy Chief, and my girl Creek and Mariah. Peace.